Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Good evening, everyone. To the honorable my lecturers, debaters, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our debate today, please set your phone or any device that may be interfering with our debate today to silent mode. And welcome to our English debate class round. The motion for this debate is it is urgent to establish exclusive schools for students that identify as LGBTQ+. I am Mirwan Maulana Rahman as chairperson and Ms. Keisha as timekeeper. And the affirmative team comes with Ms. Khumaira and the negative team comes with Ms. Nada. All right, before we get started our debate, let me tell you the rules of this debate. In this debate, for a substantive speech, the timer will knock 30 seconds into the start to indicate that the point of information can be delivered. The timer will tap once at 1 minute to indicate that the information point time has ended. Then the timer will double tap if more than 1 minute indicates the time is up. And the timekeeper will announce the duration of each speaker speaking after the speaker has finished speaking. For a written greeting, the timer will sound once every 1 minute and the timer will knock twice if it's more than 2 minutes. Now we come into our debate today. To open the debate, I would like to invite Ms. Khumaira from the affirmative team to speak about her first argument.
Okay, well, LGBTQ plus stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or sometimes questioning, and the plus represent other sexual identities including pansexual and two-spirit. As with people in general, people who identify as LGBTQ plus are still humans who have the same rights, notably in the field of education. Even though there are already some safe places for LGBTQ plus students, such as California and Vermont, Maryland, Washington, Illinois, and Oregon, I believe there are still many places that are not LGBTQ plus students friendly. So, in my opinion, it is urgent to establish exclusive schools for students that identify as LGBTQ plus. Firstly, as stated by Stonewall Education, establish exclusive schools for students that identify as LGBTQ+, can help them exploring their sexuality in a very safe way. Many queer people tend to go through their adolescence by living out the identities they are told to embody, usually cisgendered and heteronormative. If they feel unsafe expressing their sexuality or gender identity publicly, they may seek out these experiences in secret. Exploring their sexuality without the guidance and support of a network puts queer adolescents at risk of exploitation by predatory individuals and increases the risk of unsafe practices. Thank you.
For the first round, from affirmative speakers spent 1 minute 41 seconds.
Okay, to begin case of opposition, I would like to invite Ms. Nada to speak about her first argument.
Well, even though establishing schools for LGBT is important for reasons of safe sexual exploration and so that predators or pimps don't take advantage of it, however, I believe that not establishing schools for LGBT is better. Because first, this kind of relationship violates nature, Second, LGBT violates Pancasila, especially the first precept which regulates belief in one Almighty God, which is the basis of life in society. Third, according to Abu, Article 28 and 29 of the 1945 Constitution stipulates that all citizens are obligated to comply with the teachings of their respective religion. Fourth, there have been many health cases arising for LGBT behavior. And we need to know, actually school is only a temporary place. The rest of the good or bad behavior, including LGBT, is beyond the school's control. As Anis Baswedan said at Kominfo ID, the action and business they carry out are for parents, not children. According to Anis, schools will certainly try to control their children when they are in the school environment. Well, those outside the school are difficult to control. Thank you.
For the first round, from negative speakers spent 1 minute 39 seconds.
Now, to continue our debate today, I would like to let Ms. Khumaira from the affirmative team to speak about her second argument.
Well, you might be right, but I would say that establishing exclusive school for students that identify as LGBTQ+ can help reduce the discrimination faced by LGBTQ+. According to the CDC, the discrimination faced by LGBTQ+ students, whether in manifest as verbal harassments, disapproval from family members, social rejection, or physical violence, spills beyond the walls of school building and leads to increased risk for certain negative health outcomes, including disproportionately high rates of HIV, syphilis, and other sexually transmitted disease or STD in young gay and bisexual males. Adolescents, lesbian, and bisexual females have a higher likelihood of pregnancy than their heterosexual peers. Transgender youth make more suicide attempts than their cisgender peers. Compared to their heterosexual, cisgender peers, studies show higher rates of mental health issues, which is depression and anxiety, substance abuse, and lower self-esteem among young people identifying as LGBTQ+. Housing instability and homelessness, which impact 28% of LGBTQ people during the youth and major risk factors that increase the chance of negative health outcomes. Thank you.
For the second round, from affirmative speakers spent 1 minute 43 seconds.
Then, to continue our debate today, I would like to let Ms. Nada from the negative team to speak about her second argument.
Well, even though apart from that, even though schools are considered to be important for LGBT people for reason of reducing the number of victims of bullying, violence so that the LGBT are safer and do not feel discriminated against and can go to school normally. I strongly disagree with this opinion. In my opinion, by building school specifically for LGBT, it is a form of support from them as LGBT because they will be in a normal environment as LGBT and there are no boundaries. And that actually makes them free, even though they should return to their nature as what they were created for. Apart from that, MPR RI member from the PKS fraction, Abu Bakar Al-Hasbi, emphasized that the impact caused by lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual or LGBT is more dangerous than terrorism and drug crimes. Thank you.
For the second round, from negative speakers, spend 1 minute 16 seconds.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, to end up our debate today, here is the reply speech from the affirmative team. I would like to invite Ms. Khumaira to conclude her argument.
Last but not least, it is urgent to establish exclusive schools for students that identify as LGBTQ+, because the risk of anxiety, depression, and suicide is extremely high for individuals who identify as LGBTQ+. The Chartered College of Teaching notes that LGBTQ+ youth are 3 times more likely to self-harm and twice as likely to contemplate suicide than heteronormative cisgender individuals. Throughout the motion of this debate, I have proven that establishing school for students that identify as LGBTQ+ can make them feel safe as human beings. The goal of enforcing the establishment of exclusive schools for students that identify as LGBTQ+ is to reduce the phenomenon of discrimination against students who identify as LGBTQ+ and save them from dangerous mental illness. Besides that, establishing exclusive schools for LGBTQ+ students can reduce the rate of victims of violence who die due to the bullying they receive. However, they are still human beings who have equal rights with other human beings regardless of gender or sexuality. They still have the right to feel comfortable and safe in a social environment, especially at school. Thank you.
For the third round, from affirmative speakers, spend 1 minute 37.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, last, here is the reply speech from the negative team. I would like to invite Ms. Nada to conclude her argument.
Well, in conclusion, in this motion debate, I prove that is true that people who are identified as LGBT have the right to human rights. And not only LGBT people, everyone has rights, but their behavior cannot be justified no matter what. LGBT is still LGBT. It cannot be accepted or justified. This behavior must be eradicated. No one should be privileged by establishing a special school for LGBT. Therefore, we must have the courage to voice the truth openly without having to smooth over prohibited action. So, I believe that establishing schools for LGBT is not the only way to straighten out LGBT. Thank you.
For the last round, from negative speakers, spend 1 minute 9 seconds.
All right, and that's it. That's all our debate today. With gratitude, I close this debate. And I would like to thank to the distinguished debaters and the timekeepers. And I am as the moderator of today's debate. Please resign. If there is an error in guiding this debate, I apologize. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.